Today, I will be discussing the importance of the Roman denarius during the reign of Augustus, primarily from 27 BC to 14 AD. Also, I'll be discussing how this coin was significant to both the Roman society and to the AICE Classical Studies exam that we're going to take. Some of my personal do's and don'ts are, some of my primary do's are to just have some time to yourself, play some games, call your friends, talk to them, and just watch some videos when you can. To me, it felt like I spent most of my time only preparing for my exam and not enough on my other classes like stats or English literature. So I performed poorly in them, which is not a good trade of being good in one class, which is classical studies, and then underperforming in two of my main classes. Furthermore, I felt like I didn't really have time to myself to read or to play any games with my friends, and it took me after the exam to realize that. My major don't is to not spend too much time in one area, and likewise, don't ignore an area. Me personally, I ignored most of Suetonius primarily due to how much we had to read, but it only took one day of me having to really focus and just get into that mode where I read one paragraph or one section and I paraphrase it using a notes app like Discord or literally the notes app. And this really helped me take notes on the certain significant events that were mentioned from Suetonius. I want to start by discussing how it was important during the reign of Augustus, primarily from 27 to 14 AD. It was one of the most important elements of the Roman economy, It was a standardized silver coin that allowed smooth trade and commerce across the huge Roman Empire. Because of its weight and silver content was consistent, people trusted it, which helped create economic stability since everyone was super regular on using the same coin. Traders and merchants could trade confidently, taxes could be collected efficiently from the provinces that Augustus had, and the state could fund major projects such as temples and aqueducts. The denarius also played a vital role in maintaining trust with the military, which is what I want to say as military loyalty. These Roman soldiers were paid in denarii, meaning their loyalty was literally tied directly to the emperor's ability to mint and fabricate these coins. Also, by ensuring regular payment, Augustus kept the army loyal to him personally, strengthening his control and preventing rebellion, which is I described right here. This created a strong connection between the economy, the military, and imperial power. However, unlike popular thinking, the denarius was not just a coin. It wasn't just an economic tool. It was also a very, very powerful form of propaganda. Augustus cleverly used the design of the denarius to promote his image and political message. Coins featured his portrait along with symbols of peace, prosperity, and divine favor, just such as Feronia right here. By circulating these coins across the empire, Augustus ensured that even people in the distant provinces saw him as the rightful ruler and the restorer of Rome. This helped unify the empire and reinforce the idea that he created this peace. So how does the coin apply to AICE Classical Studies? Because I had a really hard time trying to figure this out. It's relevant because denarius is a key example of how material culture reflects Roman political power and ideology. I'm trying to make sure you guys understand coins were more than just coins. They were historical evidence that shows how Augustus controlled public perception and shaped Roman identity. In conclusion, during Augustus' rule, the denarius was essential to the Roman economy, and it served as a strategic propaganda tool, and it also ensured military loyalty. This made it a perfect example of how economics and politics were deeply interconnected in ancient Rome. Thank you.